Now to Richard Wilkins with more on the Golden Globes. Dickie.
Thank you very much indeed, Georgie. Poolside at the Beverly Hilton, the venue for last night's Golden Globe Awards, and people this morning are still talking about Heath Ledger. Less than 12 months since the tragic passing of Heath, and of course during that time his family and friends have had to deal with their loss under such intense public interest and scrutiny. And of course the icing was put on a bittersweet cake last night when Heath was named Best Supporting Actor for his wonderful performance as the Joker in The Dark Knight.
And the Golden Globe goes to Heath Ledger, The Dark Knight.
Accepting this award on behalf of Heath Ledger, the director of The Dark Knight, Chris Nolan.
A most deserving win. We invited Heath's dad, Kim, into our studios in Perth to watch the telecast, and following the announcement of Heath's win, we spoke, and Kim opened his heart for the first time, candidly, talking about the tragic death of his son. You must be incredibly proud of your son.
Oh, we are, Richard. I mean, he's done an amazing job, you know, and, you know, I think that the mere fact that he's been rewarded this way is incredible. I just wish that he was here to accept the awards. Having said that, I was talking to a couple of his friends, his industry friends this morning, and they said that Heath's up there watching us and looking down on us and saying, I'm glad you guys are doing this because I don't think I'd be there. But yeah, look, we're extremely proud, mate, really.
How would he feel about this wonderful award and all this attention that he's received for his fantastic performance?
Well, he didn't accept attention very well, you should know that. But you know that very well. Look, I'm sure he'd be extremely proud. I mean, the mere fact that the Hollywood foreign press have recognised him in this way is amazing, and I think he'd be, you know, beholden to them for this award.
He was a true actor's actor, and you have more of an insight than most as to what he put into his craft, and specifically this role.
He would regularly call us during the filming of The Dark Knight and tell us just how much he was enjoying it and what he was doing and what he was creating with Chris or the other characters. We've seen a lot of what he used to create the character when we we found a lot of stuff in his personal gear that was you know, copies of you know, 100 Batman comics from years back, you know, books on the 1,000 most famous clowns in the world, and then an amalgamation of these bits and pieces into a little personal journal which he put together for the piece. So yeah, he immersed himself, right, but he immersed himself in every project, and this was the result of this one, though, was in some ways, I mean, we probably weren't that surprised, because he actually said to us at one point, Dad, I think, you know, and to his mum, you know, he said, I think this is going to be some of my best work, you know, and it certainly turned out to be that way.
We're coming up to the anniversary. That's not going to get much easier in the next few days, is it?
No, as I say, it feels like yesterday, and the same applies to anybody who's lost a child. I mean, it just doesn't go away, the pain doesn't go away. But if he receives an Oscar nomination and like he has received this recent nomination for the Golden Globe and then winning it, I mean, in his short life, he would have had 2 Golden Globe nominations and 2 Oscar nominations, perhaps. And I think that's a remarkable kind of journey for a young guy, and we've got to look forward somehow to try and celebrate, you know, as a family, as hard as it is, we'll try and celebrate where we can.
Do you have a fondest moment that you draw on when you need to?
Yeah, I think the fondest moments are when he was at home, when he felt safe at home, when he was with us, when he was staying with us, and when we were just lying around on the back lawn hugging and carrying on with the kids and just playing normal games, and just, or he'd, you know, we'd sit down and play chess for hours, or he'd go skateboarding, you know, he'd come around to the house skateboarding, or he'd be down surfing, and just, I think, you know, and he was there to hug. He was there to hug and cuddle and talk to, and I think they're the fondest times, and we'll always remember that.
Yeah, clearly emotional Kim Ledger there, and A bittersweet occasion for the whole Ledger family with Heath winning the Golden Globe Award, and a certain irony, Georgie, is that the Oscar nominations will be announced on, guess when, January the 22nd,
Wow.
the first anniversary of Heath's death. So there you go. It's all working its kind of weird way. I think Heath is an absolute shoo-in to get an Oscar nomination, and if there's such a thing as a certainty to win an Oscar, he's that.
Oh, let's hope so, Dickie. And that was an insightful interview. I enjoyed it. Thank you very much. We'll cross to you again later.
I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? Go back to ripping off model dealers? No, you will complete me.
Elated, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Bittersweet, but feeling great.
This town deserves a better class of criminal, and I'm going to give it to him.
Once the film started, it was fine. It was kind of like a character, not so much our boy, you know, but you know, it's an amazing piece of work, and I think we're enamoured by his work. You know, more than anything else, it was quite overwhelming. He said that it was going to be some of the best work he'd ever done, and I think he's pretty right.
Now there's a Batman.
Well, you never know. He hasn't been nominated yet, so you just have to wait and see. But as I've said before, the Heath juggernaut seems to be rolling on. I just wish he was here while it was rolling on.
So what are you proposing?
It's simple. Kill the Batman.